let's assume it's 8 a.m. on a Monday, the phone is buzzing on Telegram, and it's a message from your own Hermes AI assistant, which is basically giving you a rundown of every big AI channel on YouTube, for instance, what they posted last week, the angles they were covering, and which videos are actually taken off. Or maybe a competitor scan you would normally burn an hour on, sitting in your chat before you even opened your laptop. Let's start by spinning up the server. So I'm actually using AWS Lightsail, and if you don't have an AWS account, then you're in for a treat, because AWS does provide free credits if you're signing up for the first time. So if you don't have an account, you just have to come in here, create an account. Or if you already do have an account, then you just click on get started with Lightsail. And once you click on get started, you sign in and everything. The first step would be to create an instance. And when you create an instance, make sure that you're selecting a location that is actually close to you, because this is where your application, or this is where the computer physically lives. So for instance, because I'm based in Canada, Montreal is the closest zone to me, so that's what I'm gonna keep. This helps with latency and all that along the way. Now, in terms of your platform, you want to go with Linux, and in terms of the blueprint, we're just gonna stick to Ubuntu in here. Now, when we scroll down here, it's asking for the plan type. I'm just gonna stick with general purpose because I'm really not doing anything complicated. I'm just doing this for the tutorial. But if you think you're running very complicated workloads, then you'd want to go for a compute optimized instance. If you want something that requires a lot of memory, then you can actually go for a memory optimized instance. And then in terms of the network type, I'm just gonna stick with dual stack. And then in terms of the size, now this is really important because this is the single biggest thing people get wrong. When I was doing a lot of research online, a lot of people were like, just go for $5 a month. I think that going for $5 a month can be a bit problematic. Don't go for the cheapest one because you want to save a couple dollars, because your agent might just crash on you. What I really recommend is that you actually go for the one that has like the 2 gig memory plan. This gives you enough space to actually run your agent, and then you can just give it a name, and I'm gonna click on create instance. Okay, so now that our instance is created and we can see that it's starting, we just want to make sure that it gets into the states where it's actually running. So now that it's running, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on connect using SSH. So now once we connect to SSH, the terminal opens for us. No key files, no extra applications, nothing to download. And this is where we actually have to type a few commands. One heads up though, this browser window can drop off if it sits idle. So just make sure that it never goes blank or dead. And don't panic, it goes blank or dead. It doesn't mean that your server is no longer working. Your server is still fine. Just make sure that you close the tab and click connect using SSH again for a fresh one. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to install Hermes. So let me come back into this GitHub here for Hermes agent. So if I scroll down here, you'd actually see that it's a self-improving AI agent by News Research. You can see everything about Hermes agent. If you landed on this video, you probably have an idea of what Hermes agent is. We are just interested in this exact line. The reason why I'm going for this line is because I'm on a Linux machine. If you're doing this on your PC, on Windows, then most likely you just have to use this. So this is the exact one line you need. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to paste this here, and then I'm going to hit enter. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to set itself up. So you don't necessarily have to sit around and wait for it to get set up. You can actually go do something else and then come back to see if it's still running or if it's still getting set up. And like I said, it sets everything up on its own, so it's pretty much standard. So at this point, it's asking us this question. So we want to go with a quick setup. It's free. You don't need any API keys, and you don't need to have any models of any sort. So it's pretty much straightforward. You can see that it shows us a link and a short code attached to it, which is this one. So all we want to do is we just want to come in here and paste the link with a short code. And then what you have to do is, if you don't have an account, all you have to do is you sign in. You don't need to like purchase any of these ones. You just need to go with a free one. So I'm just going to go with this one, and I'm just going to subscribe and connect. Okay, so you can see it's connected. Next thing is it's asking us about like the type of models we want, right? So you can see that we have 2 free models here. So you can decide whether you want to go with Anthropic, OpenAI, any of these models here, or you can actually go with a free one. So now I've selected the free model. Using the free model helps you up to a certain point because you know the way free things work. So what we see here, like all the tools, so it really depends on the type of things you want to do. If you are doing anything that has to do with text to speech, then you can actually select any of these tools here. If you're just basically doing something that has to do with web search, then you can just select web search here. I'm just gonna hit enter. It's asking us we should select the terminal backend. So again, we are going to keep it to local. That just means that the assistant runs right on your server, which is what you actually want. The reason why we hosting this on AWS. The other options are more so for advanced setups, which you don't necessarily need now. Okay, so now it's asking us to set up messaging. There are different options here from email, Google Chat, iMessage, SMS. It really comes down to what you want to use. So for instance, I'm going to use Telegram. So I'm just selecting Telegram and I'm going to hit enter. And then now it's asking me if I want to do this automatically or if I want to scan a QR code. So you can decide to do it automatically by just like scanning a QR code, or you can decide to actually like go to bot further and then create the bot yourself. So in this case, I just want to do the automatic one, so I'm just gonna hit enter. And so now it's giving me a link, so I'm gonna copy this link here and then I'm gonna paste this link in Telegram on my desktop, and I'm just gonna click on create a bot. This is actually more simple than using the bots further, in my opinion. So you click on create a bot, and then you give your bot a name, and then you can come in here and have a conversation with the bot, schedule stuff, and ask it to do real work for you. So for instance, I can say how my channel at this AI tool does that compare to these channels, right? You can just ask it to do stuff for you, and you can see it's actually going to do the research and everything. Okay, that is it for today's tutorial. If you're not subscribed to my channel, that is one of the best ways you can actually support my channel so that it grows and I get encouraged to do more of these videos. So I do have lots of tutorials. I do have a similar tutorial for OpenClaw as well, so if you're interested in watching, I'm going to leave the link to that on the screen somewhere so that you can go check it out. But as usual, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.